Have you ever found yourself in a familiar dating scenario, a pattern that plays out time and time again? You meet someone, a girl you really like, and your natural instinct kicks in. You want to show her you're interested, right? So, you start doing what feels logical. You text her first, making sure to initiate conversation and keep the connection alive. You reply quickly, sometimes almost instantly, wanting to show her that she's a priority and that you're engaged. You send funny clips, share memes, and even those little good morning messages, hoping to bring a smile to her face. You're trying your best to show genuine interest, to be attentive, without ever crossing the line into being weird or overbearing. And for a while, it seems to be working. She appears to be into it, her replies are enthusiastic, and the energy feels positive. But then something subtle shifts. It's almost imperceptible at first, a slight change in the rhythm of your interactions. Her replies start getting shorter, less detailed, and sometimes they feel a bit more generic, lacking the initial spark. She takes longer to respond to your messages. Minutes turn into hours, and sometimes even a full day passes before you hear back. The energy between you starts to feel colder, like you're suddenly walking uphill, pushing against an invisible resistance. So what do most guys do next when they notice this shift? They do what feels intuitive. They try harder. You double down on your efforts. More jokes, more attention, more presence in her digital world, and perhaps even in person. You believe that if you just show her more, she'll see your value and come back around. You increase your investment, but somehow, and this is the painful paradox, that's the exact moment she starts pulling away even faster. It's like your increased effort creates a repellent effect, pushing her further and further out of reach. Meanwhile, there's always that one guy, you know him. He barely talks, he doesn't chase, he doesn't try to be funny. He seems to exist in his own world, seemingly oblivious to the effort you're putting in, and yet, somehow girls lean toward him, they laugh around him, their eyes sparkle, and their body language is open and inviting. They stand closer, initiate physical touch, and flirt with him without him ever asking for or explicitly trying to elicit it. It looks unfair, doesn't it? Like he was born with some innate charm or a secret ingredient you simply don't possess. You might think he's doing something extraordinary, something more than you could ever imagine. But here's the part no one tells you. He's not doing more than you. In fact, he's doing less. And his energy, that's the real differentiator, is completely different. Most guys, without even realizing it, walk into interactions silently asking a question that leaks out of their every pore. Do you like me yet? This unspoken question, this craving for approval, subtly shapes their entire presence. That question leaks out through everything. Your body language tightens, becoming less fluid, more anxious. Your voice speeds up, a subtle sign of nervousness, as if you're rushing to get your words out before she loses interest. Your words start chasing approval without permission, becoming performative, designed to elicit a specific reaction. The guy who attracts girls without trying isn't asking that question at all. He's walking in calm, grounded, and slightly detached. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's not auditioning for a role in her life. He's not seeking her validation. He's observing. He's seeing who actually fits his world, his values, his lifestyle, instead of trying to squeeze himself into hers. And girls with their innate sensitivity feel that instantly. They pick up on that subtle difference in energy. When you're chasing validation, your presence feels needy, even if your words are polite and your intentions are good. It's an underlying current that communicates a lack of self-sufficiency, a dependence on her reaction for your emotional state. But when you're selective, when you're grounded in your own worth, your presence feels rare, valuable, and intriguing. Scarcity isn't something you fake. It's something you are when your life doesn't revolve around one person's reaction. Your happiness isn't dependent on her texts, her smiles, or her approval. It comes from within. That's why trying harder always backfires. Trying shows up as talking too much, filling every silence with chatter. It manifests as explaining stories that didn't need explaining, over-justifying your thoughts or actions. It's reacting to every little thing she does, every emoji, every subtle shift in her tone, with an exaggerated response. You fill every silence because quiet feels dangerous, like an empty space that needs to be filled with your voice or your effort. But attraction doesn't live in noise. It lives in presence. It thrives in the space between words and the unspoken connection. When you slow down your speech, allowing your words to carry weight and hold eye contact, you communicate confidence. When you let moments breathe without rushing to perform or fill the void, the entire interaction shifts its dynamic. Silence stops being awkward and starts feeling heavy, not in a bad way, but in a way that creates intimacy and anticipation. Girls don't remember every word you said. They remember how grounded you felt standing there, how secure and present you were. And here's where most guys misunderstand the phrase, don't try. It doesn't mean ignoring her, playing games, or being cold. Creepy energy is too much attention, an overwhelming presence that feels invasive and suffocating. Cold energy is none at all, a complete lack of engagement that makes her feel unimportant and dismissed. Attractive energy is clean attention. It's focused, present, and respectful without being demanding or desperate. You listen intently when she speaks, truly hearing her, not just waiting for your turn to talk. You respond thoughtfully instead of instantly, allowing a moment to process, showing you value your own thoughts. You tease when it's natural. When the moment calls for playful banter, then you go back to your life, your interests, your purpose. You're present when you're there, fully engaged in the moment, but you don't orbit her existence online or offline. You don't jump every time she posts, liking and commenting on everything, making her the center of your digital world. You don't make her the absolute center of your day because you have a rich, full life that exists independently of her. Because curiosity pulls harder than availability ever will. A little mystery, a little space, creates intrigue. The biggest, most transformative shift happens when you stop tying your worth, your emotional state, to her reactions. Most guys don't realize they're constantly performing. If she laughs, I'm winning. If she's dry, I failed. So they keep pushing, hoping for a reaction, a signal that validates their existence and their efforts. The guy who attracts without trying isn't performing at all. He jokes because he finds it genuinely funny. He tells stories because he enjoys sharing them, not to impress her or get a specific response. If she laughs, great. If not, his mood doesn't collapse. His internal state remains stable, unswayed by her response. The moment your emotional state depends on her response, she feels pressure. And pressure, quietly and consistently, kills attraction every time. But the deepest part of this, the part almost no one wants to face, is this. You cannot attract someone effortlessly if you're terrified of losing them. A man who's genuinely okay with either a yes or a no feels different in the room. He carries an aura of peace and self-possession. If she cancels, he doesn't beg or guilt trip. He simply says, okay, maybe another time, and moves on with his plans. If she goes quiet, he doesn't chase with a barrage of texts. He respects her space and trusts the connection, or lack thereof. If she disrespects him, he steps back without drama, without anger, because his self-respect is non-negotiable. Not because he doesn't care about her, but because his life, his peace, his purpose are bigger than one person's approval. That's what makes his attention valuable. That's what makes his presence rare. It's a gift, not a desperate plea. So, attracting girls without trying isn't about doing nothing. It's about stopping the chase, the frantic pursuit of validation. It's about saying less, but meaning more. Every word you utter carries weight and authenticity. It's about giving attention without obsession, being present without being suffocating. It's about enjoying yourself, your life, your interests, instead of constantly performing for her. And most profoundly, it's about being genuinely okay whether she stays or walks away, because your happiness isn't tethered to her. When that fundamental shift happens, your energy changes from, I need you to like me, to I'm already good, you're welcome to join. And that, my dear friend, is what girls feel as effortless attraction. It's the most powerful magnet of all.